Dude, Ryan, sell everything. Every home I have in Utah, I do not want to own a single home in Utah. I want all of my inventory, I want it gone.
You got it.
Like by the end of the week. Fire sale, gone, because guess what? Utah is one of top 5 most overvalued markets, and this is not a market I want to be in. And today I'm going to share with you the other 4.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
It's really, really strange right now. Obviously the market is super hot. It's only going up and up and up. But there are some markets in the nation right now, cities, where the prices have gone up so high, it's absolutely ridiculous. So today I decided to make you a video on the 5 most overvalued real estate markets. They might surprise you. A couple of them are literally right here in the state of Utah, but some of the others will blow your mind. Have you ever heard this phrase, a buyer's market or a seller's market? Like a buyer's market is when everything is priced really, really low and the buyers pretty much can have anything they want. They can ask for anything that they want. They can get all the sellers to make concessions on their behalf. But when it's a seller's market, it's because everything is really, really high and the sellers, they're in charge. And you know, you don't have a lot of negotiating power because a ton of people want their product. That's the market we're in right now. So when we evaluate buyers and sellers markets, what really is the difference? In the top 5 markets, potential buyers might want to consider renting and reinvesting money that they otherwise would have put into home ownership. As in, like, I'm telling young people for the first time ever, hey, if you have a choice right now between buying a home or an investment property, buy an investment property. What do I mean by that? Well, there are certain markets, especially the ones that I'm talking about today, where you do not want to buy a primary residence. The banks are going to let you get away with a 3% down payment. And basically, if that market keeps going up and up and up, you'll be certainly grateful that you did. But if a market is as overpriced as what I'm about to show you, and you buy a home in that market, then when we experience a correction, you're going to cry through bankruptcy, losing your house, and being back on the street.
Literally, I sleep on the ground most nights.
So how much would a market have to go up before it should become super alarming to you? All 5 of these markets are crazy alarming to me. And what we're going to do is we're going to count backwards. We're going to start right now with number 5. And it is Detroit, Michigan. Previously, literally one of the most unattractive places in the country to live from an economic standpoint, or if you look at what's been happening in their local industries with businesses, this has been a horrific market. But since the whole pandemic's come about, guess what? That market is considered overvalued by 45.57%. That's, by the way, like the least of the really bad ones that we're going to be talking about today. According to the June 2021 housing report from the Board of Realtors and the multiple listing services, home sales were up 16.8% compared to June of last year. The median sales price was up 21.6%, and the average number of days on the market was 19. That's 15 fewer days compared to June of last year. In other words, that is a really hot market right now, but that is the last market I would ever want to own real estate in. Now, I hope it doesn't feel like I'm picking on Detroit, but reality is I used to own a couple of hundred homes in that market. And you know what? I got them at a huge discount. I put a lot of money into them, and I lost about $1 million on those homes. The reason why it happened is because I didn't understand anything about rental rates for certain areas. You see, people had such low income there. That's when I learned that when you rent a house in a market in an area where the renters make $60,000 a year or higher, they actually take care of the house. But when people are making a lot less than that, the opposite can happen. They can literally trash the house. They don't take care of the house. And before you know it, you might even be dealing with, like I was, professional renters. These are people that actually come in and they have no intention of actually ever paying rent because they've got these landlord laws that are renter friendly that basically say, oh yeah, if you can't afford your rent, don't worry, you don't have to pay and the landlord can't kick you out for X number of months. This is one of those markets. It was a total nightmare. And fortunately, I didn't give up. I learned from it, and today I make millions and millions and millions of dollars because I know not to be in markets like this one. In 4th place is a market you maybe have never heard of before. It's called Provo, Utah. By the way, dude, that's Provo literally right outside. This studio is in Provo, Utah. Provo, Utah, up 46%, which is really, really crazy for this particular town. Check this out. In July 2021, Provo home prices were up 24.8% compared to last year, selling for a median price of $421,000. On average, homes in Provo sell after 11 days on the market compared to 24 days last year. There were 136 homes sold in July this year, up from 117 last year. This is nuts what's happening. If you guys understood like really what's in Provo, dude, there's nothing in Provo. Can Provo sustain this long term? Hard to believe.
I don't believe it.
Number 3 on our list for me is like crazy bizarre because north of Provo, like an hour, 90 minutes, is this tiny little area called Ogden, Utah. And if you haven't heard of Ogden, most people haven't, but this is like a podunky, like farm town, a little bit rednecky kind of area. And it's crazy that it's up 49.7%. In July 2021, Ogden home prices were up 26.4% compared to last year, selling for a median price of $350,000. On average, homes in Ogden sell after 7 days on the market compared to 16 days last year. There were 222 homes sold in July this year, down from 251 last year. And I'm telling you, like Ogden, when I got in the game of real estate, like if I wanted to and never did, I could have driven up there and literally bought like a small little house for like $80,000, $70,000, $90,000. These tiny little piece of junk, what? Look what's going down. This is scary stuff. It's kind of crazy because literally my very first house that I ever bought was in Provo. And I would say of my first 25 homes, probably 10 or 12 of them also in Provo. The rest of them literally in just surrounding cities. And Provo was like a really nice market for me to start out in. I mean, literally not that long ago, I bought my very first house for $110,000. Now, mind you, it was worth $150,000 and shortly went up in value more than that. But to think that the median price is over $400,000 is just nuts. There's these tiny little homes that just look like little like garbage on the side of the road by the railroad tracks, and you're like, how come that is selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars? It's just absolutely mind-boggling. And I gotta tell you, I sold off a lot of my Utah real estate actually years ago, and part of me is like, dang it, where's my freaking crystal ball? It would have been really awesome if I had had the opportunity to still hold those homes today. I'd be several $1 million richer. But on the other hand, there's a reason why I left Utah. At some point during the global financial crisis of 2008, I realized that there were markets far superior, meaning you had a lot of companies moving into those areas, population was growing, migration was going into those areas, wage growth was occurring there. I started looking at the big picture on ROI and why certain markets had a disadvantage and other markets had an advantage. Like for just a moment, I want you to think of New York 100 years ago, or think of San Diego 70 years ago, or think of LA, right? You've got these huge markets, Seattle, that today the median home price is like $500,000, $800,000, $1 million. That means that decades earlier, they had their heyday where someone could have come in and then boom, they could have ridden that ride. But today, that ride has come and gone, that ship has sailed. Those are not markets that you want to be in because $1 million home, it literally doesn't scale in rent the way an entry-level home does. What you want to do is buy an undervalued property in a market that is emerging, and then over a 5 to 10 year period of time, you get to ride this massive growth. That right there, that's the money that you want. It's gonna have juicy cash flows, it's gonna have juicy growth, it's gonna perform and hit really nice ROIs. So that's why I left Utah in the first place. And now with everything going down, I'm sure as heck done in Utah. This next market is totally surprising to me. Number 2 is Austin, Texas, up 50.72%. Check this out. In June 2021, the median listing home price in Austin, Texas was $575,000, trending up 22.6% year over year. The median listing home price per square foot, $300 a foot. Austin's housing market was impacted by the pandemic, which led to a decline in home sales due to critically low levels of housing inventory. As sellers backed out amid growing uncertainty and health crises, the greater Austin area also felt the stark effects of this crisis. In other words, if we're not building homes when people are demanding them, then that means that when there's less and less and less inventory available, it's like, well, shoot, 1,000 people want to buy a home, but now there's only 3 homes available. They're going to get bid up through the roof. That's exactly what's happening in Austin. And it makes me want to wonder, like, is this like a good market or is this a failing real estate market? Is it possible that people are making money hands over fist in a market like this where actually this government forced recession, this global forced recession is actually long-term going to be really bad while it's making people rich right now? But then you got to have like that one market above all that, the ultra outlier that makes no sense above the rest. And that market is Boise, Idaho. Boise, like, have you even heard of this place before? It's up 80.64%. That place, like, the market is nearly over, like, double what it's actually priced to actually be. Check it out. The Boise housing market is sizzling hot and is being fueled by low mortgage rates and limited supply compared to demand. The result is that buyers have to pay over the asking price. The median home price in the Boise metro area exceeds $500,000 for the first time in May 2021. Ada County's median sales price set a new high of $523,000, up 8.7% compared to April's price of $481,000, according to the latest report released by Boise Regional Realtors. This is the 12th month in a row of price increases and the first time the price has surpassed the $500,000 mark. And I'm going to tell you, if you have been to Boise, it's like, what's here? Where's the industry? What's fueling this? Well, in all of these markets, it's the exact same thing. It's the fact that we just don't have enough houses and tons of people wanting them. And for whatever reason, they are bidding them up and they are desperate and those prices are going through the roof.
Steady, steady.
No! Obviously, this phenomenon is happening everywhere across the United States where you're dealing with like the median home price. It's not so much happening though in the multi-million-dollar range. Areas in LA and others where it's like, well, my home was $4 million. They're not now reporting a $10 million value or a $7 million value. They've gone up, but it hasn't been proportional. What we're dealing with is buyers in that median price range. So this is like, man, I hope this doesn't sound wrong, but like average financial people, they're the ones that are wanting more houses and they're the ones chasing the market right now. Meanwhile, a lot of the millionaires are sitting back and being like, man, you all sorts of crazy going on right now. There has got to be a silver lining in this. And I'm telling you right now, there is. You don't want to invest in one of these markets that has shot up that high. You should be looking for the markets that are about to shoot up that haven't yet. In fact, check this out. I publish a document every single year where I analyze the top 324 markets and I look for the 5 most undervalued markets that are in process of going up the most. And I publish them in this document called Krohn Consortium. And in it, I reveal the 5 markets that I'm buying in right now, why I'm there, the research behind it, and how much money I'm making. And I'm telling you right now, it is all sorts of crazy town, but 100% in the best of ways. If you'd like to get a free copy of not just the top 5 markets, but if you want to see my track record of my last several thousand homes and the markets that you go to if you want to make the most money in the next decade. Because even Dave Ramsey agrees with me that if you wait during the next decade because real estate keeps going up, it's going to be one of the worst financial regrets of the decade. Instead, you should be buying, but you got to figure out how to do it turnkey and in the very best markets. There is a link below. I will send you this document for free, cover the shipping and handling, and in it, I will reveal literally the secret to how you make your next several $1 million just because of location of buying real estate in the right 5 markets. It's all right here. Click the link below and get your copy. Hey, thanks for watching today's video. If you're just a little too curious and want to know, come on, Kris, come on, dude, tell me the top 3 markets that you're investing in right now. I made a video just for you. It's a little bit of a secret. I don't want everyone to know, certainly not the big hedge funds, because I am slaying it in these 3 markets right here in this video right now. I made this video right here, shh, big secret, and it's loaded with bombs of how to make tons of money.
Perfect.
That made no sense.
I'm not sure about the loaded with bombs.
Loaded with bombs on how to make tons of money? I think
No, it's fine. It's fine if you could